Anyway, welcome. I'm going to do a live painting right now. As I get into it, I will try to keep the talking to a minimum. I will try and let you just listen to the music and watch me paint. But first I'll just set this up just so you know what it is. So this painting is a commissioned piece that I am working on for my sister-in-law, Heidi. Just 1 second, I have to go yell at my kids for 1 minute. I'll be right back. Malcolm? Okay, sorry about that. I hope I gave a few more people some time to pop on. So, yeah, I don't know. If you can let me know, I'm going to start the music and let me know if you can hear it. But anyway, I'll just explain. I'm working on a commission piece for my sister-in-law, Heidi. So her house is a brand new home, a modern design, and in it the colors are there's kind of this warm gray on some of the walls, and then on one wall is a really beautiful kind of a charcoal gray. And so she asked me to do a commission piece. I'm going to explain to you how I go through the process with the client for a commission piece. So, and I'll do this rather quickly, but if you have any questions, just let me know. So her and I was at her house. We decided what wall the painting was going to go on. We measured. She has a store-bought commercial painting that she wants to replace. So we looked at that, and the size was a bit too small, so we decided to go a bit bigger. So this is a 20-inch by 48-inch painting, or canvas, and it's a gallery profile, which means that it's deep, so she won't have to frame it. It'll look quite nice, clean, crisp edge. Her and I have gone over things, and we've decided that she's going to have a background color that matches the wall that it's going to be perpendicular to. So the wall that it's perpendicular to is her fireplace wall with a really beautiful charcoal gray color. I just happen to have this paint that I got at a hardware store, believe it or not. It's Rust-Oleum, which is not a normal paint you put on canvas, but it's a metallic, and it's almost identical to the color that she has in her house. It's not going to show up very well there, but that's going to be my background color, and I'm going to start with that. The accent colors that Heidi has in her home is kind of a blue teal kind of color, like that. And then she has a lot of silver, so I have some silver paint here, and I have some silver foil. I may not use this. I have to decide what I'm going to do with the silver, and then we're going to throw in some white, and that's going to make everything really pop. So I'm going to put a little bit of texture on this canvas. Normally I put my texture on before I add the paint, but in this case I am going to try and mix it as I go for the sake of people viewing this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to start painting. I might explain a few things as I go, but I'm going to put some music on here. And this music is by a local Calgary artist named Kyla Ferrier. And if you have a chance, please check her out. I love her music. It's wonderful. But she does all kinds of things. She's a composer. She does composing music for storybook theater. She helps work with Rosebud Theater. She's done modeling for them, and like on posters, and she does all kinds of things. But anyway, check her out. I'm gonna put the music on. If someone could let me know if you can hear it. Can anybody give me like a yes, the music you can hear? Hold on, a new song's coming on. We can hear it. Thanks, Lindsay. Okay, all right. So I'm just going to get started and zone out. If this interests you, great. If it doesn't interest you, don't worry about it. I'm not offended. We've got my roller. I'm going to roll on my base coat. Seems weird that I might be swirling it, but I don't want to just put it on and have it flat. I want some movement in the paint. I want it to feel like there's dimension in the background. The roller helps to add some movement, some lines. Drywall dab, but it has separated, so I'm not going to use it. It's going to come out clumpy, and I don't want clumpy texture on this painting. So instead I'm going to use a gel gloss from Golden. I'm going to add my texture. I just want a very subtle texture on this piece, just the lightest bit of texture. This may look like a lot of texture, but it's not thick. It's and it'll dry even less noticeable than this. Especially when I get the paint on it, it won't be as noticeable. If you want texture to be noticeable on canvas, you have to use a ton of it. So I've got my accent blue, my accent white, and my silver. Just put a bit on this. Just thinking I want to add. I just want the accent color to just be in the center. So I'm going to put my base color mixed in with this texture over here. Hope you guys can see that. Same up here. Okay, that is better for me. I like that better. Just to make sure nobody said anything. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of add my I do a lot of thinking, a lot of standing and thinking. I'm sorry if that's boring for you. With blue, I've added a medium, some additive like golden. It takes paint that comes in tubes and it changes the viscosity, but it doesn't change the pigmentation. So the colors of this are just as bold as if it had come out of a tube, but it allows movement like this. And that was a key moment in my life when I discovered that. Because if I just put this in a tube on here and sprayed it with water, the water's going to change the pigmentation and dissolve the color just like a watercolor would. But one thing I do like about when it comes out of the tube is because of its thickness, it moves and differently with the liquid paint. So you'll notice that when I'm done working on this, that the silver will not move as much. It'll stay more where I want it to stay. So that's why I'm choosing to keep the silver in the tube. Also, this is silver. It's what's the word? Iridescent? No. Shiny. It's metallic. And when you try to break these down with the liquid, with the additive, it doesn't work as well. Metallics are terrible for that. Metallics are hard to work with. So. Just a little bit of silver, because I might add silver foil later, and then my white. to start with. White can, it's like black, white and black will take over your painting if you aren't careful. So usually I'm a little more aggressive with the movement of the paint, but because my base layer is wet still, and I don't want it to mix too much with the base layer, I'm just very lightly moving my accent colors. That's good. Now, when I talked about this painting with Heidi, I told her to go onto my website and look at all my paintings and tell me ones that stuck out to her that she loved and what she loved about them, and also the ones that she didn't love, the ones that she does not like, and what she doesn't like about them. That doesn't hurt my feelings at all. I don't expect anybody to like anything or love anything. And something that she noticed that she didn't like is she didn't like too much dripping and melding of the colors. So what I'm going to do is I have mixed and melded a lot of the colors, but now I'm going to take my water, I'm going to spray it, and it's going to look less, like the brush strokes are going to kind of disappear a little bit, and it'll look softer. The other thing that she didn't like is everything just dripping down and kind of just being very flowy. So we want to keep the accent colors as a pop. So now I'm going to take my water, I'm going to spray, and I'm going to try and soften the edges. This song is one of my favorite songs of Kyla's. It's fantastic. Time to get your hands messy. Actually, use my palette knife. Okay, so it's coming across as really bold, and I want this to be a little more subtle so that things I add eventually next. After this dries, I'm going to add some other things, which Heidi really likes about my painting. She likes the dots. I don't have one right now that shows that, but if you look at my work, you'll see that I use a lot of dots on my paintings. That comes after. I want those to pop. So I want this to be blended more, so I'm going to do my typical movement of my canvas. Oh, good. You guys can see that pretty good, eh? So, like I said, she doesn't want a ton of like the moving all over the canvas. But what I'm going to do is I am going to tilt it this towards me, and that way to create movement this way, and then I'll come back to it and I can kind of remove the extra movement. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I'm talking gibberish, but I'm just wanting the colors to blend a bit more, so that you can't see too much. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just gonna shut up. I don't know what I'm saying. It's all up here. I just don't know how to say it. Okay, so. I'm curious if any of you at this point are like, no, stop! There's this one artist I follow, and he constantly does that. Gets this like great painting, and then he like covers over it. People lose their minds. I think it's cool. Okay. that might seem like I created more movement, but what I did was kind of blended the colors more so they seem less messy. So I think I'm going to spray it more. Kind of thinking of this like, this is my background, this is the middle ground, and then the next layer, once it's all dry, I'll add dots and some bling, some silver bling, will be the foreground. So I want this more subtle. Okay, so before I go too far and get mad at myself, I'm going to stop. I'm just going to let this sit. I'm going to let the water do the rest. It's going to move the paint all over the place. Hopefully not too much. And then I can come back and kind of clean it up, if you will. Add another layer. I'm liking this so far. It's gonna dry less. A lot of these colors are gonna fade. The water is going to evaporate, and these colors will actually be less bold. So I don't always do paintings based on accents of colors in homes, but I have done them before, and it really can be quite beautiful. I've done commission paintings based on photographs. One that comes to mind is I did one of a picture of Napa Valley in the fall, and the vines turning autumn colors, and it was a great interpretation for some friends. So, like I said, I'm going to leave this. I'm going to let it dry, and so next time I come back to it, I'll make a video of me adding the other touches. Yeah, but I'm happy with it right now. Yeah, so anyway, I don't know if anybody enjoyed this. I have no idea. Maybe it was super boring. Maybe you tapped out right away. Maybe you thought it was interesting. Maybe you wanted me to keep going. I don't know. I have no idea. I just hope it was something interesting for you to join in on. I hope you enjoyed the music. I know I did. If you have any questions, let me know. Yeah, I'm going to try and save this and add it. Heather is surprised that I covered the drips, but it makes me think something better is coming. Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, there's going to be more, there is going to be added layers. So, I mean, this painting live is very hard to do for me because I'm constantly painting, wetting it, letting it dry, stepping away for a day, coming back, adding something else, letting that dry, stepping away. So, I mean, that's why I've never entered any kind of live contests or art battles, because this process just won't work for that. And I'm okay with that. But this was a bit of a challenge to try and do this, putting the texture on at the same time as the paint. Usually I put the texture on and let it dry, which is much easier to do. It allows for a specific texture that I want. So the texture has been moved around quite a bit. There's a lot coming in right here and right here, but it's not crazy texture. I didn't want too much. I just wanted a little bit. But yeah, because I put it on and got it wet, it doesn't stay where I want it to stay, and that's just the way it is. But I'm happy with this so far. So yeah, thank you for joining so much. Thank you for taking interest. I hope that this made your day a little more exciting. I don't know. Therapeutic. Oh, thank you, Lindsay. I'm glad. Yeah, it's just something to do, right? So yeah, so I will keep you updated on what happens. The next live video I'm going to do is on Friday, and I'm going to be um, going over one of my older pieces and talking about it and the inspiration behind it, and just offering something for you guys to participate in. So thank you so much for watching. This time I will try and save this live video and post it on my Facebook, because last time I didn't, and I'm learning, guys, learning, always learning. Anyway, have a wonderful day. I love you all. Thanks.